for a retired couple in 2026, living in Germany is generally 30 to 40% more affordable than in the United States. That's right, I said more affordable. Now, while American retirees often have higher disposable income and higher homeownership rates, 80% to 60%, mind you, in Germany, they face a significant higher risk from unpredictable health care and long-term care costs. I mean, that's pretty huge, right? Now, I'm going to give you an estimated monthly budget for a retired couple in 2026. Now, this is just an estimate. I'm not an expert at all. This is just to give you an idea. So in Germany, for a monthly budget, you're looking to live comfortably, 2,500 to 3,500 euros. That's about $2,700 to $3,700 roughly USD. Now, for the same comfort in the United States, you're paying roughly 4,000 to 6,000 USD. What? Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? So let's look at the expense categories here. Let's look at housing. Say a 2-bedroom apartment. You could pay roughly between 1,000 and 1,600 euros, which is about 1,800 to 2,800 USD. Healthcare in Germany, you could pay about 180 to 900 euros roughly. But in the United States, the same thing. Out of pocket, 600 to 1,200 USD. Let's look at groceries. 450 euros to 600 euros. Compared to the United States, 700 to 950 USD. That's huge. Let's look at utilities. Utilities, energy. You'd be paying 350 to 500 euros per month. Compared to the United States, 250 USD to 400 USD. So that's a little bit of comparison there. But then you have your eating out, okay, your leisure, your dining, Spaghetti Eis, mind you, 400 euros to 700 euros per month, which compared to the United States, looking at 600 to 1,000 USD. There's some things you really need to consider about retirement in Germany. Number one is healthcare. Now, in Germany, retirees often pay about 10% of their gross income into the public health system, and that covers nearly all treatments with minimal copays. And I'll give you an example. One day in a hospital in Germany, you're paying about 10 euros. That's about 13, 14 USD a day. What? Try doing that in the States. Can't do it. In the U.S., Medicare lacks a cap on total out-of-pocket spending, making medical crisis a major financial threat. I mean, think about that. How many times do you hear about folks talk about Medicare or the med bills are piling up and all that stuff? Well, you don't have to worry about that. Yes, you're paying in taxes, but you don't have to worry about it like you do in the United States. So that's a big benefit. Now, another thing is here, and a little disclaimer, I am not a professional. I'm not a tax professional at all. But I will have to tell you, there's some taxation of benefits there. There's a U.S.-Germany tax treaty, and under that treaty, the U.S.-Germany tax treaty, Social Security and most private pensions are typically only taxed in your country of residence. So if you live in Germany, your U.S. Social Security is taxed by German authorities, but often receives special treatment that can make you partially tax-free. All right, so get with the tax professional. I'm not one. All right, but that's a pretty cool trade-off, don't you think? All right, so now under the same law, the same treaty, the U.S.-Germany tax treaty, U.S. Social Security and most private pensions are typically only taxed in Germany if you're a resident there. So you got your tax-free allowances now in 2026. This is the basic tax-free amount. So for a married couple filing jointly is 24,696 euros. All right, so that's roughly $26,700. So income below this threshold is not subject to German income tax. Now, next you have Social Security taxation. U.S. Social Security is subject to a taxable portion rule. Now, for those starting benefits in 2026, approximately 83 to 85% of the benefit is considered taxable income. Now, while the rest remains tax-free for life. That's pretty cool. All right, then you got this thing called active retirement. And starting January 1st, 2026, we're past that. We're in April. We're in April 2026 now. But if you choose to work part-time after reaching the retirement age of 67, you can earn up to $2,000 per month, tax-free. That's $24,000 annually. That's a pretty good deal. So German retirees, they benefit from a less is more lifestyle, and I'm learning to do that in my life. I want to get rid of stuff. I've been getting rid of stuff, and it's great. It feels good. So, but they rely on a robust public transit that reduces the need for expensive car ownership. So, you pay roughly $120 a month for transit, right? For public transportation. Compare that to gas. Car insurance, fuel costs, all that stuff, okay? So it really makes a difference. Now, while U.S. retirees are more likely to own their homes, German renters, they enjoy a strong tenant protection, lower rent-to-income ratios in many regions, especially outside of Munich or Berlin, but outside of those. Now, Munich and Berlin can be quite expensive. It's time to go for a scouting mission. If you are planning on retiring in Germany, make sure that's where you want to be, all right? So I would suggest to go to Germany, go to the city, the township, or wherever you want to be in Germany, and spend a couple weeks there. Look around for houses. Am I going to like this area? What about list the pros and cons of whatever area that you're in, so you get an accurate comparison of where you want to be. Now, I went ahead and I looked at some flights. I did it for September 2026. If you fly from Orlando, these are examples. From Orlando to Frankfurt, you're looking at $580 to $895. Okay, that's of yesterday when I looked these up. All right, and if you're going from Orlando to Munich, you're looking at about $645 to $1,000, right around there. These are about mid-September flights, and this is just a rough estimate. And definitely coach, no first class. All right, but that's some good prices. My favorite time to go in Germany is all the time, but it's cheaper in September. September on, it's much cheaper than you'll go in June or July. That's something to consider. If you are actually planning on making a scouting trip to beautiful Germany, I am more than willing to sit down with you and make you a very affordable itinerary. And here's the beauty of it. I don't charge a thing but a smile. If you smile, it's free. If you don't smile, it's $1 million, okay? However, I will never turn down some coffee and or spaghetti ice. Hence the link down there in the description. So I will sip some coffee and eat some spaghetti ice. I would appreciate that, but never ask for. But I am here to help you make that trip to beautiful Germany. Now, folks, thank you for being here. And make sure that you hit like, subscribe, and the notification bell for future videos of costs and expense comparisons, as well as some fun and exciting vlogs on my future trips to beautiful Germany. Ich liebe Deutschland. I can't wait to go back. So until then, we'll see you next time. Dankeschön und Tschüssis. Ho ho!